My fiancée moved her sister into our house while I was away, demanding I pay her debts. I came home, saw them wearing my clothes, and called the police for trespassing. My fiancée screamed, "Family first," as the officers escorted her sister out in handcuffs, and then I, 35 male, just got back from a 2-week work training program out of state. Walked into my house at 11 p.m. last night and found 2 women I barely recognized lounging on my couch, eating takeout from containers spread across my coffee table, watching my TV. Took me a solid 5 seconds to realize one of them was my fiancée. The other was her sister, both wearing my clothes. My fiancée had on my vintage band t-shirt collection, the Nirvana one I got at a garage sale for $200. Her sister was literally wearing my Ralph Lauren bathrobe that cost $180. "Babe, you're home early." My fiancée jumped up, smiled like this was totally normal. I just stood there with my suitcase. "What's going on?" "Oh, so, funny story. My sister needed a place to crash for a bit, and I figured you wouldn't mind since you were gone anyway. She's going through some stuff." The sister didn't even look at me, just kept scrolling on her phone, feet up on my coffee table. "For a bit? Meaning what, exactly?" My fiancée waved her hand. "Like a few weeks? Maybe a month? She's between apartments." "And you didn't think to ask me first?" She laughed. Actually laughed. "Babe, we're getting married in 6 months. What's yours is mine, right? Plus it's family. You'd do the same for your brother." "I wouldn't. My brother's a grown man with his own place." But that wasn't the point. "This is my house," I said slowly. "I bought it before we met. Your name isn't on anything." Her smile faded. "So what? I live here too. I have every right to invite my sister. You live here rent-free because we're engaged? That doesn't give you the right to move people in." The sister finally looked up. "Wow, hostile much? She told me you were cool." I ignored her. "How long has she been here?" "Since Thursday," my fiancée said defensively. "And honestly, she needs help. She's got some debt issues and..." "Debt issues?" "Yeah, like $18,000 in credit cards and a car loan she can't make payments on. I told her you'd help out since you make good money and..." "Stop." I held up my hand. "You told her I'd pay her debts?" "Not all of them. Just help her get back on her feet. Maybe cover a few payments until she finds work." The sister chimed in. "I mean, if you're gonna marry into the family, you should probably be willing to help family, right?" This woman I'd met exactly twice before. Once at Christmas, once at Easter, was sitting in my bathrobe, eating food she didn't pay for, telling me I should bankroll her bad decisions. I pulled out my phone. "What are you doing?" my fiancée asked. "Calling the police." "What? Are you insane? Your sister is trespassing. She was never given permission to be here. I want her removed." The sister stood up. "You can't do that. I've been here for 5 days. I have residency rights." "No, you don't. This isn't a rental property, and you're not on any lease. You're a guest who wasn't invited by the homeowner. That's trespassing." My fiancé grabbed my arm. "Babe, please, she's my sister. Family first." I pulled away. "She can be your sister somewhere else. She needs to leave. Tonight. It's almost midnight. Where's she supposed to go?" "That's not my problem." The sister started yelling. "You know what? You're a selfish piece of garbage. What kind of man turns away his fiancée's family? The kind who didn't give permission for strangers to live in his house." I dialed 911. My fiancé tried to grab my phone. I stepped back. 911, what's your emergency?" "I need to report a trespasser at my residence." The sister started screaming. "I'm not a trespasser. I was invited by someone who doesn't own the property and doesn't have authority to invite guests for extended stays," I said calmly into the phone. My fiancé was crying now. "Please don't do this. Please, she has nowhere to go." "She can go to your apartment. I gave that up 2 months ago when you said I could save money by staying here." That was true. I'd suggested she save money. Didn't mean she could turn my house into a homeless shelter for her irresponsible family. The operator confirmed officers were on the way. 10-minute ETA. Those were the longest 10 minutes of my life. My fiancé went from crying to yelling to bargaining. The sister just kept screaming about what a terrible person I was, how she was going to sue me, how I'd regret this. Then she made a mistake. She went into my bedroom, which I'd specifically told her not to enter, and came out with my laptop and iPad. "If you're kicking me out, I'm taking these as compensation for emotional distress." I held up my phone, recording. So now it's theft on top of trespassing. Got it. She froze. Put them back. Now. Make me. The doorbell rang. I answered it. 2 officers, 1 older guy, 1 younger woman. Evening, sir. You called about a trespasser? Yes, that woman, I pointed to the sister, was moved into my home without my knowledge or consent while I was away. She's refusing to leave and just attempted to steal my electronics. The older officer looked at my fiancée. Ma'am, do you live here? Yes, we're engaged. But is your name on the deed or lease? Well, no, but, he turned to me. Sir, is she authorized to invite guests? Short-term guests, yes, not to move people in for weeks or months without asking. I was out of state for work training for 2 weeks. I came home to find her sister living here, wearing my clothes and being told I'm expected to pay her debts. The younger officer looked at the sister. Ma'am, I'm going to need you to gather your belongings and leave the property. I'm not leaving. I have rights. You don't have residency rights after 5 days, ma'am. The property owner is asking you to leave. If you refuse, you'll be arrested for trespassing. This is discrimination. He's doing this because he's a man and hates women. The older officer sighed. Ma'am, gender has nothing to do with property rights. You need to leave. She didn't move, just crossed her arms and sat back down on my couch. All right. The younger officer pulled out handcuffs. Ma'am, stand up. You can't arrest me for trespassing after being asked to leave by the property owner and refusing a lawful order from police? Yeah, we can. My fiancée started screaming. Family first. You're supposed to put family first. The sister tried to resist. Took both officers to get her in cuffs. The whole time she's yelling about lawsuits, about how I'm going to pay for this, about how she'll ruin my life. They walked her out in handcuffs. My fiancé ran after them, crying and begging. I stood in my doorway and watched the police car drive away with the sister in the back. My fiancée came back up the walkway, mascara running down her face. I will never forgive you for this. Never. That's my sister. That's a stranger who was stealing my stuff. She wasn't stealing. She literally tried to take my laptop and iPad, claiming emotional distress compensation. Because you traumatized her. I laughed. Couldn't help it. I traumatized her by coming home to my own house? You know what? Screw you. I'm done. We're done. The wedding is off. She stormed inside, went to the guest room where she'd been keeping her clothes, and started throwing things into bags. Fine by me. She left 20 minutes later, still crying, telling me I'd destroyed her family and I was going to regret this. I locked the door behind her, looked around at the mess, takeout containers, her sister's stuff everywhere, my bathrobe on the floor, and just felt tired. Now I'm sitting here at 2 a.m., drinking a beer, wondering what the hell just happened to my life. Update 1, 3 days later. So the night of the arrest, I thought that was it. Relationship over, crazy sister gone, time to move on. I was wrong. Saturday morning, I woke up to 89 text messages. Not from my ex-fiancée, from her mother. A sampling. How dare you have my daughter arrested? She's traumatized. You will pay for her legal fees. She's got a record now because of you. What kind of man does this to family? I replied once, your daughter trespassed in my home, refused to leave, and attempted theft. She created this situation. The response, you manipulative bastard. My daughter told me everything. You knew she had nowhere to go. You invited her to stay and then trapped her so you could have her arrested. We will sue you. I didn't bother responding to that delusion. Then my ex-fiancée texted from a new number. I blocked the old one. My sister spent the night in jail. She has court Monday. You need to drop the charges. No. She could get jail time. Should have thought about that before trespassing and attempting theft. I hate you. Everyone's gonna know what kind of person you are. Sure enough, Sunday afternoon, my phone started blowing up. Apparently, my ex posted a massive rant on social media about how I illegally evicted her sister, destroyed their family, and abused my power as a man to oppress women. The post was getting shared like crazy. People I barely knew were commenting, calling me disgusting, a monster, asking how I could do this to my fiancé's family. I didn't engage, but my best friend did. He posted the video I took of the sister trying to steal my laptop and iPad, along with screenshots of the texts where my ex told me I was expected to pay her sister's $18,000 in debts. The narrative shifted real quick after that. Half the comments changed to wait. She moved her sister in without asking? And he was supposed to pay someone else's credit card debt? My ex deleted the post. Too late though. Screenshots exist forever. Monday, I got a call from a number I didn't recognize. Answered it. Hi, this is calling from the county courthouse. We have your ex-fiancée here, claiming you need to be present for her sister's hearing. I'm the complainant. Am I required to be there? No, sir, but she's insisting you need to drop the charges. The charges stand. Understood. Have a good day, sir. 10 minutes later, my ex called from yet another new number. Her bail is $500. You need to pay it. I hung up. She called back, and back and back. Finally texted, Fine, I paid it, but you owe me $500. Didn't respond. Tuesday, things got really interesting. I got home from work to find the lock on my front door tampered with. Scratches around the keyhole, like someone tried to pick it or force it. Checked my security camera footage. Thank God I installed those last year. Clear as day, my ex and her sister, Tuesday at 2 p.m., trying to break into my house. The sister had a screwdriver and was trying to pop the lock cylinder. They gave up after 10 minutes when a neighbor came out and asked what they were doing. My ex said, I live here, I just lost my keys. The neighbor bought it and went back inside. I immediately sent the footage to the police and filed an additional report for attempted breaking and entering. Also changed the locks. Again. This time to a smart lock with a code only I know. Wednesday morning, I got an email from a lawyer. Not my ex's lawyer, her sister's lawyer. Threatening to sue me for wrongful arrest, defamation, intentional infliction of emotional distress, and violation of tenant rights. The demand? $25,000 in damages or they'd file suit. I forwarded it to my own lawyer. Yes, I lawyered up after the break-in attempt. He literally called me laughing. This is the most ridiculous demand letter I've seen all year. She has no case. 0. Don't respond, I'll handle it. He sent back a response that basically said, your client trespassed, refused lawful orders to leave, attempted theft, and subsequently attempted to break into the property. Any lawsuit will be countered with criminal charges for the break-in attempt. We have video evidence. Proceed at your own risk. Haven't heard back from that lawyer. But Wednesday night? Oh, Wednesday night. That's when the real crazy came out. I was watching TV around 9 p.m. when I heard scraping outside. Checked my phone. Someone was at my back fence. The camera showed the sister climbing over my 6-foot privacy fence, dropping into my backyard. Called 911 immediately. Stayed on the line. Watched on my phone as she tried the back door, locked, then started trying to jimmy the window, also locked. Officers arrived in 6 minutes. Found her still in my backyard, now trying to pry open the window with the same screwdriver from before. Second arrest. This time for criminal trespassing and attempted burglary. No bail this time. Judge called her a flight risk after seeing she'd already been arrested once and came back. My ex showed up at my door Thursday morning, absolutely losing it. They're keeping her. She's in jail. This is your fault. I spoke through the Ring doorbell. She tried to break into my house, twice. That's her fault. She just wanted her stuff. What stuff? She was here 5 days. She didn't have time to accumulate stuff. Her phone charger, her makeup, things you refused to give back. I bagged everything she left and put it on the curb the next day. It's not my problem if she didn't pick it up. You're destroying our family. Your sister destroyed herself by breaking the law. Twice. She stood there crying for another 10 minutes before finally leaving. I'm changing my number this weekend. This is beyond exhausting. Update 2. 2 weeks later, buckle up because the entitlement reached nuclear levels and the consequences are finally catching up with them. After the second arrest, I thought maybe, just maybe, they'd back off. Wrong again. The ex-fiancée started a campaign. Not on social media this time. Learned her lesson there, but through mutual friends and acquaintances. She was telling everyone I'd stolen her sister's belongings, that I'd fabricated the trespassing to get revenge because she stood up to me, and that the whole thing was because I'm a controlling abuser who couldn't handle her having family around. Problem for her. Most of our mutual friends actually know me, and when they asked for my side, I showed them the videos. The one of the sister trying to steal my electronics. The one of them trying to break in the first time. The one of the sister climbing my fence the second time. Narrative. Destroyed. Lost maybe 2 friends who decided to stay neutral, which meant believing her. But, honestly, good riddance. Everyone else saw through it. But the ex wasn't done. She filed a police report claiming I was withholding her possessions. She listed expensive jewelry, a laptop, designer clothes, and $1,200 in cash she'd allegedly left at the house for safekeeping. The jewelry? Never existed. The laptop? Hers was a beat-up Dell she'd taken with her the night she left. The designer clothes? She'd never owned designer anything in the 3 years I knew her. The cash? Complete fiction. The cops came to investigate. I showed them the video of her leaving with her bags, invited them to search the entire house, and showed them my security footage from every angle showing she'd taken everything the night she left. Officer actually apologized for wasting my time. People file false reports when they're angry. This is clearly retaliatory. I asked if I could press charges for the false report. He said I could, but it probably wouldn't go anywhere unless I could prove financial damages. Fine. I documented it anyway. Added it to the file my lawyer was building. Meanwhile, the sister made bail after 8 days. Someone, probably the mom, scraped together the $2,000. She immediately violated the no-contact order I'd gotten by showing up at my work. I work in IT consulting. She walked right into the lobby, demanded to see me, started screaming about how I'd ruined her life when security tried to remove her. My boss called me down to handle it. I walked into the lobby, saw her being held back by 2 security guards, and just shook my head. I have a no-contact order against you. You're violating it right now. I don't care. You put me in jail. I lost my job because of you. I have court and lawyer fees, and it's all your fault. My boss, to his credit, immediately called the police while I went back upstairs. 3rd arrest. Violation of protective order. That one stuck. She was held for 72 hours, then released with an ankle monitor and strict conditions. No contact, no coming within 500 feet of my home or workplace, no online contact. You'd think that would be the end. But the mom decided to escalate. She hired a lawyer. A real one this time, not whatever bargain bin attorney the sister had found. This guy sent a formal demand letter claiming that because my ex-fiancée had lived with me for over a year, she had established residency and I'd illegally evicted her. They wanted $15,000 for moving expenses, emotional distress, and loss of housing. My lawyer responded with facts. She'd never paid rent. Her name wasn't on any utility bills, the deed, or any rental agreement. She'd left voluntarily after the sister was arrested, and I had video of her packing her own bags and leaving of her own free will. The lawyer backed down immediately. Sent one more letter saying they'd pursue other avenues, but we both knew it was over. Then the sister's court date arrived. I had to testify. First time I'd seen both the ex and her sister since the fence climbing incident. The sister's public defender tried to argue she'd been invited by my fiancé and therefore had a reasonable expectation of being allowed in the home. The prosecutor destroyed that argument with the timeline. I was out of state, returned to find an unauthorized person in my home, asked her to leave, she refused, and attempted theft. Then they played the video of her trying to break in the second time. Judge was not impressed. Found her guilty of criminal trespassing, first incident, attempted burglary, second incident, and violation of protective order, the work incident. Sentencing, 90 days in county jail, suspended to 30 days served plus 60 days probation, $1,500 in fines, and mandatory restitution for my security system upgrade, $800, and the locksmith fees, $350. She started crying. The mom started yelling at the judge about how this was excessive and cruel. The judge threatened her with contempt, and she shut up. Outside the courtroom, my ex tried to approach me. My lawyer stepped between us. My client has nothing to say to you. Further contact will result in a restraining order. He ruined her life. She's going to jail. Your sister ruined her own life by committing multiple crimes. Have a good day. We walked away while she screamed at our backs. That was 3 days ago. Since then, the mom called my parents, don't know how she got their number, crying about how their son destroyed her family. My dad told her, my son protected his property from criminals, goodbye. Click. The ex tried to get her friends to brigade my social media. I'd already locked everything down and blocked anyone associated with her. The sister started her 30-day sentence yesterday. I got a notification from the court that she'd tried to appeal, and it was denied. And the absolute kicker, I found out through a former mutual friend that the $18,000 in credit card debt the sister had, actually closer to $35,000. She'd maxed out multiple cards buying designer purses, shoes, and clothes, then defaulted when she couldn't make payments. The debt collectors had been after her for months. That's why she needed a place to hide. Not between apartments, hiding from debt collectors. My ex had known this. Had known she was bringing someone with serious financial and legal problems into my home, and expected me to just deal with it. Pay for it even. The audacity still blows my mind. Final update, 6 weeks later. It's been 6 weeks since I came home to find my house invaded, and I figured I owed you all a final wrap-up since so many people have been following this mess. The sister finished her 30-day sentence last week. Got out and immediately moved 3 states away to live with some cousin. Good riddance. The protective order is still in effect for another 11 months, so legally she can't contact me anyway. She still owes me a $150 in restitution, court ordered. Haven't seen a penny. My lawyer says I can pursue wage garnishment, but honestly, I just want to be done with this family. I'll wait to see if she pays voluntarily, and if not, whatever. The peace of mind is worth more than the money. The ex-fiancée tried a few more times to contact me through increasingly desperate channels. Had her cousin call me asking if we could talk like adults. Had a former coworker approach me at a coffee shop asking if I'd consider forgiveness. My answer was the same every time. No. She wanted family first? She got it. She's got her sister and her mom. They can all be entitled together, somewhere far away from me. Last I heard through the grapevine, she moved back in with her mother. The mom's apparently not thrilled about having 2 adult daughters living with her rent-free, but that's her problem now. The ex lost her job, different story. Attendance issues apparently, not related to this drama, and without income, she's stuck there. I'd feel bad, except she literally tried to steal from me and let her criminal sister invade my home, so, yeah, no sympathy here. As for me, I'm doing better than expected. First couple weeks were rough, lots of anger, frustration, that feeling of, how did I not see this coming? But therapy's helped. So has the gym, so has spending time with actual friends who don't think I'm a monster for enforcing boundaries in my own home. I've been on a few dates, nothing serious yet, but it's nice to remember that not everyone's a walking red flag factory. My date last week literally said, "Wait, she moved her sister in without asking? While you were out of town?" That's insane. It was refreshing to have a normal reaction validated. Sold my old couch. Couldn't look at it without remembering the sister sprawled on it in my bathrobe, and got a new one. Feels good. Redecorated the guest room too. It's an office now. No more random people sleeping in there. The house feels like mine again. Took a while, but the invasion vibe is finally gone. Biggest lesson learned, trust your gut. I had doubts about my ex before this. Little things, how she talked about money, how she handled conflict, how she'd bend the truth to make herself look better in stories. I ignored them because I loved her, because we'd been together 3 years, because I thought marriage would somehow fix the issues. It wouldn't have. This whole situation just accelerated what was inevitable. If she could justify moving her sister in without asking, justify expecting me to pay someone else's debts, justify trying to break into my house after we broke up, what else would she have justified during a marriage? Dodged a massive bullet. Yeah, it cost me some lawyer fees, some peace of mind, and a few months of stress. But it saved me from a lifetime of being financially and emotionally drained by someone who fundamentally didn't respect me or my boundaries. The sister's now dealing with her debt collectors in another state, racking up a criminal record, and learning that actions have consequences. The ex is unemployed, living with her mom, and probably still telling everyone I'm the villain. And the mom's stuck with both of them. Meanwhile, I'm here in my house, my name on the deed, my rules, my peace. New couch, new office, new boundaries. They thought family first meant I should sacrifice my home, my money, and my sanity for people who didn't respect me. I showed them that family first doesn't mean enabling criminals and freeloaders. Some of you asked if I regret calling the cops that first night. Hell no. That decision protected me from months or years of them slowly taking over my life, my home, my finances. The sister would have temporarily stayed for months. The debt would have somehow become my problem. The ex would have found more family emergencies that required my wallet. I cut that off immediately, and every crazy thing they did afterward just proved I made the right call. To anyone in a similar situation, your home is your sanctuary. Your boundaries matter. Don't let anyone, family, fiancé, whoever, make you feel guilty for protecting what's yours. If someone truly cared about you, they wouldn't ambush you with unauthorized house guests and debt obligations. Thanks for following along with this nightmare. Time to close this chapter and actually enjoy my life.